Republicans in the House and the Senate today did not go along with the Democratic bill to force the release of the Epstein files because Donald Trump told them to. They did it because Donald Trump isn't strong enough to tell them not to. He is very aware right now of just how weak he is, and so is the rest of the Republican Party. But it is not just Trump who is weak right now because his coalition is fracturing. So is Mike Johnson. He has no power over MAGA if Donald Trump doesn't, and Donald Trump doesn't, which is why Donald Trump is now attacking Mike Johnson and turning on him, furious with the result of this vote. And not just that, but what's to come. We are going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into how Donald Trump is furious with Mike Johnson and what's to come, we got to start with what happened today, and one of the loudest voices pissing both of these guys off, and it's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Finally, putting these victims and these survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and the cabal of rich, powerful elites that expands not just here in the United States of America, but to other countries as well. We're putting them last. And that is exactly what Americans want. You see, for far too long, Americans have been put last. And they're sick of it. They're sick and tired of it. And this is why they don't trust Congress. This is why they don't trust the government. And here's the problem. All of these women who have suffered in shame for years and years and years, women who were terrified, women who were intimidated, women who were threatened, just like Virginia Giuffre. And now she's dead. And these women should have never faced that, for this information to come out. And we, especially the 4 Republican members of the House of Representatives, we should have never faced intimidation and threats for us to get this vote to come to the floor. Never forget, there were 4. Thomas Massie, myself, Nancy Mace, and Lauren Boebert. We had to sign a discharge petition, and we had to fight through intimidation, and we had to endure it for months to push that discharge petition finally to 218 to get this vote to come out. This is what the American people are sick of, and rightfully so. Now, where does this go?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, in my opinion, did not decide to start attacking Donald Trump and turning on her party because of some change of heart. I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I do not like to give her credit, knows the MAGA base very well. And she knows what direction they're shifting in. And she knows that there will be a time after Donald Trump. And so she is trying to seize on that before anyone else. It is why she is so clearly breaking with him. And it is why she is happy for a primary challenge to come, because she knows she will likely win. And that is another blow to Donald Trump. I don't even suspect he will endorse a candidate in that race in the same way that he did not endorse the candidates running for governor in this past election, because he knows he will lose and he hates to be a loser, which is why what Thomas Massie said right here is so important in the fracturing of the relationship between Johnson and Trump.
I have people, other survivors of other sex crimes, who come to me and say, "Thank you. You give me hope. You give us hope. There is hope here." We fought the president, the attorney general, the FBI director, the Speaker of the House, and the vice president to get this win.
Did you notice how Thomas Massie snuck in J.D. Vance there at the end? They didn't really beat J.D. Vance. They beat Trump, sure. They beat Thune, of course. They definitely beat Mike Johnson. But J.D. Vance, what did he have to do with all this? Again, Thomas Massie is saying that because Thomas Massie is running for president, and he knows he's running for president against J.D. Vance and what Republicans will soon call like the old MAGA, the establishment MAGA, the out-of-touch MAGA. I just think it is important to point that out, because it represents a fracturing of this coalition that we have never seen before. I think we are seeing greater breaks in MAGA than we did after January 6th, which is insane to say. But the biggest fracturing, of course, happened in the House. The only reason the Senate passed this bill is because it moved through the House so quickly, and Donald Trump just completely gave up. This had nothing to do with John Thune or his power over his caucus. But Mike Johnson, he's weak. He gets his power from Trump, and Trump has no power anymore, which is why Trump is furious with him, as we can see right here. Furious Trump rages that Dems outmaneuvered GOP lawmakers and set trap for him. Donald Trump may have acquiesced to the demands that give his approval for the Jeffrey Epstein files to be released, but he is not forgiving Republicans for not saving him from the embarrassment of backing down. According to a report from Politico's Dasha Burns, the president believes the GOP leadership was outmaneuvered by Democrats, with some White House insiders also fuming. Burns reported that Trump realized last week that his grip on Republican lawmakers was slipping, and that the vote in the House being led by Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna was adding more wavering GOP lawmakers. The president remains frustrated that members of his own party have essentially laid a trap he cannot avoid, in part because administration officials insist there is nothing more of substance for them to unveil, Burns wrote. According to one Trump insider, there is an overwhelming belief in the White House that the document release will just lead to even more demands of the embattled president. Are people going to be satisfied? No, because people in this country genuinely believe that the federal government is in the possession of a list of pedophiles who worked with Jeffrey Epstein, and that is just not true, which I don't believe. That is true. They complained. Trump still believes Democrats outplayed the GOP, which is partly why he is so angry with his party and why he tried so hard to prevent the House from voting, said a person close to the White House granted anonymity to discuss the Epstein case. Burns wrote, with her source admitting, POTUS doesn't like to be told what to do or give Dems a win, so he's been fighting it. With the House vote expected on Tuesday, and of course we already saw what took place, Donald Trump is furious. All of the credit in the world to Robert Garcia, to Jamie Raskin, to Ro Khanna. These are people who have stepped up and made one thing clear, that we are not going to lose this fight, and that we are going to make sure that the Epstein files are released. These are fighters. Jasmine Crockett as well, who have been beating the drum louder than anyone else. And they have gotten the MAGA base furious with Donald Trump and Mike Johnson enough that they are losing their power. That is what is happening. The leadership of Democrats completely outmaneuvered Republicans, and Donald Trump is waking up to that fact. Not just that Mike Johnson is his little baby bitch, and so if he's not powerful, Johnson's not powerful, but that he is weaker than ever. And it is not me saying that Donald Trump's term is over, while I certainly am, but it is MAGA podcasters who are seeing where the more apolitical wing of the party is at. And Tim Dillon, who I think is an important insight, had this to say because he agrees with me.
It seems to not be doing anything good for anyone. This is the end of the Trump administration. This is the beginning of the lame duck presidency. It's obvious to everyone, even his most ardent supporters show up to the White House, like Laura Ingraham, and she's kind of shocked, going, what the hell's going on? Now we'll start, 3 years of talking about the ballroom. He will trail off. He will get older. He's adorned the White House in gold. Epstein's going to suck the oxygen out of a lot of this. We're going to talk about that a little later on.
Donald Trump is no longer in control. And that was his most important superpower as a leader of his party, is that not all the time they were ideologically in line with Donald Trump. It's not that he was an expert negotiator or he knew how to change the sentiment, is that they were terrified of the primary challenge. And if Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie aren't, then who gives a shit? They will do what they want because they know what is a lot more damaging than the Donald Trump tweet right now would have been voting to protect pedophiles. And it is not just that. Look at Indiana Republicans as well. As Greg Abbott and his plot to steal 5 seats for Donald Trump went up in flames today because a federal judge struck it down, a Trump-appointed judge at that, what did Indiana Republicans do? They said after J.D. Vance's visit, after Donald Trump's threats, we're not going to vote for gerrymandering. They're not doing it. Donald Trump is losing all over the place because the Republicans now kind of understand, they're kind of inching their way there, that if they have like collective action, Donald Trump can't do anything. He can't primary all of them. He can't post about all of them. He can't lose his mind about all of them. It just doesn't work for Donald Trump. And it's not just that, but Republicans are waking up to the future after Trump. If you thought that the elections that we just saw were big wins for Democrats, they were, But if you think that they're bigger losses for Republicans, you're right, because this coalition is fractured, and they have wasted and will waste the next year in which they could legislate, which I'm thanking God that they won't be, fighting and jockeying for position to save themselves. It will be a mess, and it is why I say that Donald Trump's term is already over, because Republicans are trying to find what's best for them. That used to be doing exactly what Donald Trump told them. That is not the case anymore. So Mike Johnson has lost his power, and Donald Trump is furious with him. He is furious with everyone in MAGA, and he understands that it is over for him. And it has never been this bad for Donald Trump. And when I tell you that I am loving it, it is a beautiful thing to watch. This man is not just in cognitive decline. He is not just weak mentally or physically. He is weak politically. He is the lamest of lame ducks, and we need to exploit that. And we need to make sure that everyone in this administration feels that pressure. Because as Eric Swalwell says, once Democrats retake the House and God willing retake the Senate, you better save your emails, you better save your text, you better save every piece of paper you've written anything on, because we're coming for you. There will be accountability. There has to be accountability. They are running scared right now. And just like corporations bent the knee, you don't think Republicans will bend the knee to us when we're in charge, when we're holding them accountable because they're terrified? They will. This is a time to root out the broken political movement that is MAGA. When they are at their weakest, we have to crush them, and we have to call them out, and we have to make it that they do not get to rewrite history, which is what Jamie Raskin made sure Mike Johnson couldn't do in this clip right here.
The Speaker says, why now? Why now? Well, Mr. Speaker, you were the one who refused to swear in Adelita Grajova for 50 days. We would have done it 50 days ago, but she provided the 218th signature on the discharge petition. So why now? It was because of your dilatory tactics, your delay, your postponement of it. Now, the gentleman says that there are not sufficient protections. There are protections in the bill for the victims to make sure that their names will be redacted. And yet we hear even the Speaker of the House of Representatives openly inviting the U.S. Senate to start finger painting on this bill, which we have waited more than 5 months to bring to the floor. The Senate should pass the bill exactly as it's written. The President should sign it exactly as he said he would when he finally changed his mind. And the Epstein file must be released. Moreover, if the President is serious about what he's saying, he's got the power to release the Epstein file right now. Nobody's stopping him. It's within his possession.
Now is the time to beat them like we never have before. This is a time to obliterate the MAGA movement. We are going to be working every single day to do that on this show. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.